I have a statement. I want to make clear that I find Councilmember Marsh-Holshen's expenditures and his choice to make personal charges on his P card unacceptable, as was the delay in responding to staff and the delay in reimbursing these funds. This is not an employee situation. However, as elected officials, we owe a duty to the public and to council as a body to hold each other accountable. We might be constrained by what is in our current rules, but we should and can call out unacceptable behavior when we see it. I would like to hear from my council colleagues on this matter before I comment further. I want to thank my colleagues for their comments and the community for the emails. And I hope you heard, like I did, a commitment to move toward greater public accountability. Serving on council is a privilege. Traveling while representing and damage the public trust. The simplicity, as he said in an email about his hotel bill, is no justification in my mind, nor is his explanation on the ability to reimburse the city and county. I received the same email that Councilmember Marsh-Holschen is relying on to support his belief that reimbursement was acceptable. I don't agree. The finance director said we could not get a per diem and also use a P card for food. And if that occurred, then reimbursement would be required. It was not permission for unauthorized purchases on a P card, so long as reimbursement occurred. It is a way to fix what is a true mistake or accidental overage. I and almost all of my current and prior council colleagues are well aware of the rules. No personal purchases to be paid with city and county funds. No alcohol to be purchased with city and county funds, even as part of a meal. The view that staff didn't tell me it was wrong, so it must have been right, is an excuse that diminishes our duty to use public funds responsibly. We are expected to exercise the same care and incur expenses that a prudent person would exercise if traveling on personal business and expending personal funds. To our staff, I want to thank you for bringing this to our attention, and I assure the public that there are no ramifications for their reporting. Please continue to report these issues. Our administrative staff does a great job of keeping track of travel plans, following up on receipts, and tracking council's use of travel and training funds on the expense spreadsheet linked to tonight's agenda. When myself and Mayor Pro Tem first learned of this situation from the city and county manager, we worked to find a way to effectively address it and unfortunately found a gap in our policies and enforcement tools. Council's expense policy doesn't address the use of a P card or reimbursement practice like this. And the city's P card policy is written for traditional employees, not council members. So there's no authority for us to enforce it. We knew it was important that Councilmember Marsh-Holschen stop the behavior and reimburse CCOB immediately. Therefore, utilizing the consequences for employees laid out in the P card manual, we suggested and Councilmember Marsh-Holschen agreed to a 30-day suspension of the P card. And with his statement, he will relinquish his P card permanently. Additional training has occurred and will occur with the city and county attorney. Forward-looking, that's not enough. Council cannot fire an elected official, and none of us are the boss of the others. But council can assist staff with stricter policies and tighter procedures on our own expenditures so that future councils and future staff have the right tools in place to take swift action when these issues arise. Council as a body can hold each other accountable. To that end, the city and county attorney has begun revisions to the P card agreement that any council member who uses a P card must sign that will make crystal clear that no personal purchases or ineligible purchases are allowed on a P card. Reimbursement is not a justification for personal purchases on a P card. Any improper uses of P cards will be reported to council in a public meeting and will result in immediate termination of those privileges. Any improper use will be considered a violation of council's expense policy. Further, I'll be asking for changes to council's expense policy to lay out similar clarifications so that there can be no misunderstanding in the future. I will also ask for the addition of a provision that council will have the power to revoke a council member's travel and training budget if there are any violations. Councilmember Marsh-Holschen, I'll take you at your word that this was a misunderstanding. This was a serious mistake by you. To use a phrase I use often, you know better, you do better. That's all I have to say. I'll turn it over to you.